I'm Dennette Bailey, and welcome to my channel. This channel is all about helping you do your best with your child and do your best with your family. And I really like to show people how to prepare their children for kindergarten because, well, I am a preschool teacher and a former kindergarten teacher. And preparing our children for kindergarten really sets the foundation for everything in life. Our ability right now, if you think about everything that you do in your life and your work and your relationships, it really comes down to that first experience that you had in preschool and kindergarten, certainly from birth, but since I like to concentrate on the preschool age children, it really does, the foundation starts there in preschool. So I'd like to show parents and caregivers or teachers things that they can do to improve their child's abilities in school and certainly in their relationships and their social emotional lives. And today I want to show you something that you probably hadn't thought of. And this, quite frankly, you can get this and put it in your homeschool group or if you're a preschool teacher. But I think they make great gifts for birthdays if you celebrate them, great gifts for the holidays. These are great gifts. These are things that probably most people don't think to give children, and they will certainly help them. You can be at the foundation of helping them be successful in life if you give these as gifts. Okay, so here they go. These are all around the game bingo. And I have the bingo games, but you could make these, okay? There are lots of different websites where different people have different versions of bingo that you can print off. So you don't necessarily have to spend money on these things. I do these things. You can see in my math center here. I'm in my math center in my preschool, and I have lots of things that I've printed off that I can use, and we don't necessarily have to go to the store and print these off. So the first one is Bingo Shapes. It's a shapes game, and you can teach your child all about the shapes, and it corresponds to different things that are in their world. Okay, so for example, the octagon and the stop sign. And so you can play this one is a puzzle that matches up, but you can, when you're in the car, for example, I love car games because people, they are pressed for time sometimes. And I say the car is a great time to do learning. And you can practice these in the car. You can either name the shape and the child can name something from the environment that matches, or you can name the thing in the environment that in the environment and the child could name the shape. So for example, you could say um, frisbee and the child would say circle, or you could say octagon and then the child would say stop sign. So this is a great game that you could get. If this one is a puzzle, this one is a good one that you could get, and it would make a great gift. The others are specifically bingo games. This one is colors and shape bingo. Don't mind my name written on there. When I taught kindergarten, you had to write your name on your items to make sure they came back to you if someone bought them. So this one is shapes bingo. And as you can see, you are merely just giving everyone a shape card, and then you call out the shapes, and then the first person to get bingo. And there are a variety of ways that you can do this. You can see this bingo card is just has 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So you could, for example, say if you get all 4 in a row, either on the top or on the bottom, or you could say, you have to get all the shapes on your card. I like to play the whole card because then it takes us a little while to play the game, and we get to go through lots of shapes that way. So you could they have to get the whole card before they can say bingo. And you also can call it out by color. So you can say pink circle, and then that is also teaching them their colors. They can't just find a circle and put it on. It has to be a pink circle or it has to be a yellow circle. So this one is a really fun game, and it doesn't take that long. Like I said, you can play it where you play the whole card or just a row to get bingo. And you can make this yourself. You don't have to buy the box. You could make your own bingo game with the shapes. And you don't have to color that one in. It would take less time. You could just do the shapes. But this is a great one. It's going to teach your kiddos the colors and it's going to teach them the shapes. The next one I have is a number bingo. And again, it has the card. And so the box that I have, it has variety of cards. So I think this one goes up to the number 20, but some cards are low cards. So for example, if you just want to start with numbers 1 through 10, and then you want to go beyond that and do the teens and then 1 through 20. Again, another good one you could make because you can do a bingo card game with 1 to 5. You can make a bingo card game with 1 to 10. It's really up to you. And, just laminate these and you'll have your own bingo game. There are lots of people, like I said, that make these. You can print them off and you can print off the chips. But you could also use something like, I like to use also the tops from water bottles. If you are a person that drinks out of a lot of water bottles or the gallon, even the gallon water, you could just take the tops and they can use those. You could even decorate them for an art project first and then use them. So, the learning just keeps going on and on with them. Again, another good game to learn the numbers so that it's not just by rote because you sing them every day or you say them every day. Now you know that they are getting the number sense because you're making a game out of it. And playing is the best way to learn, you guys. So even though we'll have directed instruction, if we're teachers, we always want to follow up or begin with a game because that's how we all learn best, with a game. So I want to encourage you, if you're not using games and you are only, doing rote instruction, to consider incorporating games. If you are saying, oh, I'm going over this over and over and my child seems to be having difficulty and why aren't they getting it? You need to institute playing games with whatever you're teaching, and I can guarantee you that they are going to pick up that much faster. This one is a fairy tales bingo. May not be familiar to all of you, so I'm going to show you the box. It might be a little bit more difficult to make this one on your own, or at least more time. So that one, they make these. But as you can see, there are different fairy tales on the board. For example, 3 little pigs, 3 billy goats, 3 bears. And so you're going to just call out. They have the call out cards. And you are going to call out queen. And if they have the queen on their board, then they will put it on there. And again, this is a good one to help with reading because the words are there. But even if the words are not there, even if they can't read, they can look at the picture if you have read these stories. So for example, you might want to make sure you've read a bunch of these fairy tales already. So that might be your directed instruction. You're reading these fairy tales already. And then you can play a game, again, the fairy tale game, and they get to match the picture with a fairy tale. And it just helps with memory, retaining that fairy tale. And fairy tales are important because most of the time they have rhymes. So rhymes help your children with the reading process. They help your children understand sounds, that letters have sounds, that that words rhyme, and some sound alike and some do not. And they help you retain the information. So that would be the benefit to using fairy tales. And if you want to, if you are so led to, you could make up your own fairy tales. If you have a certain way that you want your children to learn, that's totally fine. Then make up your own fairy tales, your own rhymes, and make a bingo board to go with it. My final one is the alphabet bingo. It's probably one of the most popular bingos next to the number bingo. And again, this card is a small card because we have young preschoolers here. They're not in second, third, or fourth grade, so their attention span is a little less. So we don't want to have a long board. Don't make a long board, please. Don't say that's a nice board. I'll make it double the size. Don't do that. Don't make it more than the 8. Really, because especially if you have it like at least 3 children playing, it's going to take a little while to do this. They're going to have questions. They're going to maybe ask you, is this an M or is this an N? So if you make that board too long, then it takes a long time. And you, as the parent or the teacher, the caregiver, are not as motivated now maybe to play that game because it took too long, you see? So you want to make the game short and sweet. They want to do it more and you don't mind doing it more. So again, you can make these custom because then you can make the bingo game to the letters that you are working on. If you like to, if maybe 3 months has passed and you've done 4 to 8 letters and you want to do letters that are specific to what you have been teaching already, then you could make these specific to that as opposed to buying these from the store and getting them pre-made. If your child is in kindergarten or first grade and they are struggling with reading, this is a good game because one of the reasons that the child is struggling with reading is because they're having a hard time with the sounds of the letters. They are having difficulty retaining that information that a letter makes a sound and which letters make which sounds. They haven't gotten that foundation that they needed in preschool. So the bingo alphabet game is really good because you don't have to just call out the letter. And I would suggest that you don't just do that. It's not just calling out an M, uppercase M, lowercase m, or uppercase D, lowercase d. Sometimes you want to play it phonetically, just the sound. And so you might call out, don't say the letter. You might call out, D, don't say the letter. So that they have to really pay attention to which letters make which sounds. And so lots of times parents are saying, but my child knows all the letters and I don't know why, they're saying that she can't read or he can't read or what's the problem. At home, it's not a problem. At home, most likely you are doing the letters. And your child has by rote, unfortunately, only rote, learned the letters. And so they might be able to point them out to you, or they might be able to say their ABCs. However, they haven't phonetically learned the letter, and so they don't know the sounds to the letters. So it's important to play games that help them learn the sound of the letter. And there are lots of games that you can do for that. I have lots on my YouTube channel of games that you could just play. Again, in the car. I say in the car because the car is usually, that small space there. And if you are one that's trying to make sure you spend time with your child and not necessarily be on the phone in the car, then these are great things that you can make it useful. In addition to conversation, you could play a couple of learning games. And so if you, for example, say a game in the car and you're like, oh, my child is having difficulty with the letter then you could say, we're going to name things that have the sound You just don't say the letter. And in the car, you can take turns with sounds, monkey, master. But you say and then you could give another letter, t, for letter T, not t. Please don't put the on the letter T. That is very confusing for the children when they go to school and then they don't assess correctly. It's t, t. Just putting your tongue at the top here. T. That's it. It doesn't have 2 sounds, okay? So you can play these games with your children to help them with their letter and sound recognition. And again, these are great games. Bingo, oh my gosh, you will be the best auntie if you're an aunt and you play just a bingo game with your child. Certainly, like they'll be 20s still remembering how you played bingo with them and how you helped them learn how to read. I hope this was helpful to you guys. That's what I want to do. I want to help you help your child do their best. So keep coming back to my YouTube channel because I have lots here for you, okay? YouTube at Dennette Bailey. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.